Stuart Wilson.
Okay.
And I'm caddying for him at the Masters.
Yeah.
And he says to you, would you sign this for my mom, your favorite golfer? And you said, wouldn't you be your mom's favorite golfer?
I can add to that joke. I'm actually in Dare Manor and Bill Murray's there, and we're getting in the car, and this, I should say a young lady, but she probably wasn't, 30 years of age, comes running up and says, oh, can I get a picture with it was with Bill, can I get a picture with you, Bill, the both of us? And Bill said, yeah. She said, oh, my mother really loves you, And Bill said, well, why don't you send your mother over then?
There is a generation of golfers who figured out golf for themselves. And Padraig Harrington is part of that group.
We're on tape for 9 holes. Yeah.
To use that old Ben Hogan line that everybody knows, the secret's in the dirt. The secret is in the dirt. And I think one of the reasons we gravitate towards Padraig Harrington is he has been in the dirt himself. He's figured it out, and he's here to share things with us and really along the way help us with our own golf game.
Okay guys, come on. Don't all rush.
Part of the thing about Padraig Harrington, which makes him so unusual,
nice shot.
He actually enjoys playing in pro-ams. So we went up to see him at a pro-am up in Endicott, New York, and this was the week right after the US Open, right after he got inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame. And he was right on his game, from the second we saw him.
That's the first hole of golf I've played in 3 weeks, guys. Yeah. My first time on a course, first putt. Oh. Ted, are you putting for a 4?
I'm putting for 4.
I'm not sure if you have a shot or not. You do. Downhill, pretty quick. A good putt. That is an excellent putt. God, it flattened a little bit at the end. Good try.
I would say it's impossible to start talking about Padraig Harrington and not finding yourself smiling.
I've had a guy turn up, and not to a pro-am, but an outing, and he hadn't got golf clubs, so you can hire golf clubs, no problem. The caddy master was there. Well, what you right-handed or left-handed clubs? He didn't know. I had no idea whether he played right-handed or left-handed, and he took several fresh airs in the first tee, so we basically, come on, you had to keep starting him up the fairway and just try and get him along.
And it's not like he exudes joy. It's just like he loves what he does so much, and it's contagious. So everything about him is, to use the word of the moment, relatable. He didn't seem to mind the weather. He didn't seem to mind the duffing. He just seemed happy. Well, the typical pro on the regular tour, it's like if they could get out of their 9-hole pro-am, they would. Like they would pay $10,000 happily to get out of their 9-hole pro-am. This guy signed up for an 18-hole pro-am, and then he wanted more. He came back and played on Thursday as well.
Fairway wood out of the rough, do you move the ball up in your stance?
That's experience. Trial and error. Because moving it up could be right and it could be terribly wrong. Mm-hmm. But in different situations, I played that last one in the middle of my stance because I had a tree in front of me. I knew it would knuckle. Maybe I needed to move it up because I didn't make the carry. But it's trial and error. If you're trying to be a decent player and improve, you need to go and play on your own late in the evening time when you can play 2 and 3 balls and experiment to get. I had a couple of girls came up to me in Houston, and I was delighted because they came back up when I was playing the senior event back in Houston, and I told them, as they said, play wild golf. They're young teenagers, 14 years of age. I said, you need to be wild, hit it everywhere, learn to play from all over the place, because hitting it straight is an easy skill that you learn when you're 18, 19, but having that ability to know what shot to hit in each situation, you can only get that by being a little bit out there, a little bit wild, going for par 5s and taking all shots on and doing silly stuff when you're practicing, and knowing when not to do it when you're playing tournaments. Right, I better catch up.
Pro-Am is a perfect place for Padraig Harrington because he's so engaged with the amateurs, in part because that's his nature, in part he understands that these amateurs make his life possible. But very significantly, as he's helping amateurs look at the fundamentals of the game, he's reminding himself of the fundamentals of the game too. And this gets lost in the nuance of swing speed and so many other things. So he is genuinely trying to help other people.
He's come over to where I am. Okay. You should know this, Vlad, but see that way that's pale? That's downhill. And see the way that's darker? Yeah. So that's uphill. Yeah. Okay, dark is uphill, pale is downhill. Okay, the low side of the cup, again, this is Poana, it doesn't show up as much, but the low side, it will fray up during the day. So if you see a broken part of the hole, aim away from it. I don't think that the important thing of your routine is the end of it, not the start of it. So somebody getting obsessed with the first part of their routine, that's irrelevant. The routine leads, it's a crescendo to get you to a point. So I don't like people standing over the ball still. That's the worst thing you can do. I want movement, but I have given up on the idea that I need to be exact with 2 waggles. I'd rather go when I feel, when I've got a good look at the target and I've got a good picture of the target.
Darren hadn't been around Padraig before. I've been around him a lot. And Darren says to me at one point, this guy's kind of bristly. I'm like, no, he's not bristly. He's just not corporate. In other words, he's direct. Padraig's not built for that. Padraig's built for, if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you a direct answer. And if you don't ask me a question, I'm going to give you a direct observation.
You look incredibly unathletic, and yet but you're telling me you could swing a baseball bat. Swing your baseball bat incredibly athletic. Not a golf swing, swing a baseball bat. Okay, brilliant. That's how your golf swing should feel. Go on, a few more baseball swings. Okay. Swing that baseball swing down to the ground. No. I want a baseball swing at the ground. Yeah. You need to go to the range and hit loads of shots like that and try and get your golf swing to feel the same. Because that last one looked athletic. Swing a baseball, that's looking more athletic, but your baseball swing is even better. Go baseball swing down to the ground. That's much better.
Not everybody would realize what an incredibly distinguished career that he had. He won 2 British Opens. He won a PGA Championship. He's a Ryder Cup captain. He's won all over the world. He won a bunch in Europe. He won a bunch in the United States. He's won in Asia. He's won in Japan. So this guy had the mindset, if someone's offering me big money to play in a tournament, I'm going to go and I'm going to show who I can beat.
Food,
Paddy, you know how the Scots say that...
Food, come on. You distracted me in the last par 3 when there was food. Come on, there's food down here.
You know how the Scots say...
The quality of a good pro-am is how good the food is on the course.
Right.
You do know that. Go ahead, guys, if
you know how the Scots say that golf undresses the man, you know, golf reveals the person.
Yeah.
For that. How did Norman reveal himself to you when you guys were playing together in that Open at Birkdale?
I was shocked. Real shocked. He was way too nice to me. He couldn't have helped me win more than he did. Couldn't have been nicer. I was expecting to go out there. One, I was afraid that I this idea that everybody gets a win late in their career, gets thrown a win. You know, 5-10 years after they finish. Jack in '86. You know, they get one. I'm not going to, maybe Tiger in 2019. You get this one afterwards, and I was afraid that Norman was due a win, and this could be it. So I was really, really worried. And I thought he would just be hard, tough to play with, and he just couldn't have been nicer. Like, was genuinely encouraging as we went around there. So, yeah, couldn't have played with a better partner on that Sunday. Norman, in 2008, he was too nice to me on the Sunday.
Yes, he was.
Way too nice. It's the blind leading the blind. He's telling him exactly what he doesn't. Ah, well, I'm wise enough to wait to the end of the round.
Yeah. One par will do it.
Well,
How would you, in that, you know, after Rory missed that putt on 16, there was a lot of discussion of too much routine, not enough routine. How would you interpret both the first and the second putt on 16 for Rory?
really, you'd have to. The player would have to sit down and think, well, what actually happened? Was I focused? Was I not? Like, it really has to be personal. You know, he's the only one who's going to know whether where his head was at when he was over the ball. But I would say that if you're going to be a good player, and I mean a player rather than the swinger at a golf club, when you miss a shot, you're better off examining your routine rather than your golf swing.
What was your emotional response to the miss?
I couldn't believe the miss on 16. You know, nobody expected that. I could, you know, I could see it all day on 18. It was like a horrendously difficult putt. I know it was only 4 feet, but the you know, the quality of greens at that era, you know, they're burnt out, they're dry. People have been walking there. It's down the side. Like he was aiming 4 inches left of the hole or so. So, yeah, it was. You know, the 18 was just a horribly tough putt.
Right. 16,
he put it so well all day. I think that was a shock to the field. Like anybody watching would not expecting, and it was sure. But then you saw DeChambeau had about a foot putt in the maybe 18 inches, and it was like he grinded over. So like the greens were obviously treacherous. Do your baseball, as in you're going to swing full baseball, not golf swing, baseball swing. Come on, just get up there. Don't take your golf swing up here like this. You're too much of a golfer now. Just get used to doing this one again, right? Get up here.
It looks so much better. It's
okay.
Incredible.
Oh shit.
It's improving immensely as you do it, okay? But we still need more movement. You're too locked down still. You're too head here, okay? Move like you're swinging at a baseball.
Did you give that same thing to Bill Murray? Because I see he does that.
Yeah.
You gave it to him?
I didn't give it to him originally, no. He learned that himself. But I talked to him about it now quite a bit. With Bill, we're trying to get him. He's got to spend more time with his back to his target.
His practice swing is that.
Yeah. It's the same thing, golf swing. You're swinging a stick at a ball. It's not that different. It's crazy that he tells me he played baseball. His golf swing is so unathletic, and I says you got to get the athleticism back in and use the athletic swing to try and hit the ball straight. He's just obsessed with keeping his head down.
To have a career that at the end of the career is worthy of the stamp of being in the World Golf Hall of Fame is the ultimate statement on what you've done in the game.
I'm grateful for all my friends I've made and to everyone who has made this possible. I hope to live up to their high standards and those of the World Golf Hall of Fame. I'm going to leave you with these words from Bob Torrance, which I appreciate more and more as I get older. Every day as I left the practice ground to go to the first tee, he would say, "These are the happiest days of our lives." Thank you.
So you've run out of questions. No. I've finished them. I've won. Come on.
What stands out in your mind from the Hall of Fame induction?
I think the emotions were very much like a validation, a satisfaction for your career. I think once you've done things, once you start winning, you want to be in there, you want to be part of it, and then you start seeing these guys win majors, then you start see these guys, they're Hall of Fame players, and you want to be part of it. But the actual event was just enjoying it with my family, particularly my 2 kids and my wife. My 2 kids though particularly, because they didn't see the wins. You know, the first tournament that they ever came to was actually this one, Dick's, that I actually won, which they enjoyed it, if you know what I mean. Obviously they were at it. So I think probably with my 2 kids was the most special part about it, just that they were there and able to get a sense of the whole thing.